Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arpita. I've been working as an assistant coordinator for the Distance Education Department for over 6 years now, and I'm responsible for answering your academic queries, if any. Today's presentation specifically would focus on how to write your dissertation. For most of you who have attended your first day of your contact classes, you must have gone through Professor Nandimat's presentation on how to write dissertation. This is just going to be a little bit of add-on and a very brief overview of minute queries that we come across as a department. Please note that this is only for diploma scholars, wherein you have paper 5, which is dissertation, as a mandatory paper. Mostly we have queries that are addressed to the department on, is dissertation writing mandatory? Yes, it is, because it is considered as a paper 5 wherein dissertation is mandatory and it is a marking for 100 marks. You will have to write a dissertation which would carry 80 marks, and you would be added on further for a viva which is going to be for 20 marks. A lot of you write to us on, is the university going to provide us topics, or how is it that we go forward? The department has sent in a list of suggestive topics for each and every courses that we offer. We have nearly about 50 topics that we have suggested. You can choose any of the topics suggested and go ahead with your writing. Please do not panic as to what if I have taken a topic and what if my other fellow peer will also take the same topic. Am I going to do something wrong? Nothing in specific, because anything that you write is going to be original research of yours. You must focus on writing original research. A lot of you come across emerging areas because you might find that the suggestive topics that we have given is very basic or very generic. You can always choose a topic that you think is feasible in any emerging areas. However, please keep in mind that there should be a focus of your specific area of research and law in between. That means there should be a legal analysis of any research that you come across. When we say a dissertation, you normally come across asking questions as to who is my guide. Yes, of course, a dissertation is normally considered on that part where masters in course scholars also have to write a dissertation. However, considering this to be a distance education course, we do not recommend guides as in specific. However, in case you have something in specific, you can always take guidance from our director or me as assistant coordinator, or you could go up to your course coordinator for any more information on that relevant area. That apart, in case you're working in any of your relevant fields, you can always take experts as your guides and acknowledge them through your dissertation. When do you have to submit your dissertation? Because a dissertation that the National Law School considers is immense research that is involved. In such a case, you might have to choose your topic at least 6 months prior to you submitting the dissertation. A lot of you come to us towards the end of your submission and ask us, Madam, now I have to choose a topic, or I have chosen a topic. We will not be considering any topics if it is not submitted within 3 months of you submitting your research, which means within 3 months you might have to take approval of a new topic that you want to work on, and we are very specific on that as well. Your dissertation will have to be submitted 1 month prior to the date of examination, which means in case you have your examination in the month of June, you will have to submit it in the month of May. If June 15th is your examination, May 15th you will have to submit your dissertation, and we are very clear that you will have to send us a hardbound copy of your dissertation. In case you want to send a soft copy, you can do that as well. In case you want some feedback on your dissertation prior to the date of submitting, please do that as well. You can always write to me on my email address arpitahc@nls.ac.in. You might also have to give enough time for the evaluator to actually get back with your feedback, because it takes a lot of time reviewing your research. However, your dissertation is going to be evaluated by an expert in that area, who are experts from the National Law School themselves. We also have uploaded a brief guide to legal research, which is also there in your handbook. It is also uploaded on your user ID as well. Now, what do you mean by a brief guide to legal research? You will have to keep in mind that you will have to at least mention 80 pages of your dissertation writing. A lot of you come with 15 pages of writing as a part of your dissertation. We would not be able to accept it for the simple reason that a dissertation requires as much as of an effort as much as you write a thesis for a PhD or so. Basically, it's almost preparing for you for a doctoral program. You have to refer to the Uniform Guide on Legal Research. It's because we also have very specifically mentioned about the line spacing that you have to adopt, the font that you have to adopt, and a couple of other things. A lot of you, don't understand what is a footnote. A footnote is normally not mentioned in your research, mostly because you're from different areas of your expertise and not into law specifically. However, in a legal research, we are very stern on having footnotes. A footnote is nothing but acknowledging the source where you have taken information from. In case you do not acknowledge the source where you have taken from, I'm sure a legal research will definitely have a lot of borrowing that you would be taking from jurists or academicians or experts in that specific field. You will have to acknowledge that person in the sense that you would be acknowledging where you would not be considered as copying and pasting it in that sense. A lot of you, ask us as to what is a footnote. Please refer to Professor Nandimat's presentation on how to attempt your dissertation. It is very clear, it's very elaborate. That apart, also refer to the department's information on the legal research, the guide on legal research. It says on how to acknowledge a newspaper article, a journal article, or a book that you edited, a book that is revised. In case you've borrowed something from them, the way you have to mention the footnoting is very elaborately mentioned. So you have to stick on to this footnoting as well. Now, firstly, when you think of how do I start, you will have to choose a topic first. And that topic should be a topic where you have a complete passion on working it for the next 1 year or so. Because, there are a lot of times when you choose general topics and you tend to lose out. You say, there's so much of materials that are available already. Why do I intend to do a research on this? So don't get into that sticking up after you're midway. So choose a topic, take a lot of time in selecting your topic. The next step is collecting enough information. The more literature you have, the more it is going to help you on working on your dissertation. Now, reviewing of literature can happen in a lot of ways. You can review your literature from books, from journals, from newspaper articles, from reports, from law commission reports as such, government reports. There are tremendous ways of you actually gaining information and collecting your sources. These are just to name a very few of them. Once you have collected enough data, the next step should be reviewing of literature. The literature review is also a very important part because that's going to show you a guidance on where you are going to start and how you are going to end. So any gaps that are left in the available literature will have to be further added on by you so that you come up with a lot of information and a new analysis on the same topic or on the same research that has been done before as well. Your sources could be from eminent ways. It could be from library, which is probably the best source of information that you would be getting, especially the National Law School Library, because that's a knowledge hub. You have very good library staff who are going to help you on where you can find enough data. So make use of the National Law School Library most importantly. If you are not able to make it to the National Law School Library, refer to any of the law libraries that are close by to where you stay. You can go to the library, you can take help of the research centers. We have specialized centers for each and every course in the National Law School. We have a center for environmental law, center for intellectual property rights, center for cyber law, center for child rights law. So every course has a specialized center and they do tremendous project works on a lot of areas. Even when selecting your topic, go and meet the concerned faculties there or concerned experts there and try to get as much information as possible. You can meet academicians. The more networking you do, the more useful it is going to be for your research. I also mentioned about footnotes before. You might have to time and again I mention footnotes because it's a very important part of legal research. A lot of times you might tend to gain marks by not writing footnotes, but that's also not going to be a very important part of legal research. In case you want to write an article or based on your thesis, I think this footnoting is going to help you a lot because you know from which source you have collected. It's going to make it more easier for you to compile and write an article of a very good quality. Those of you who haven't been able to attend the contact classes here, please refer to Professor Nandimat's dissertation writing for diploma courses. It is also uploaded on your user ID. In case you are not able to access it, please write to the Distance Education Department. Anybody from our team would be happy to answer your queries on that. Lastly, I want to very specifically mention about one of the very common errors that is committed by most of our distance education scholars. It is on plagiarism. People don't even understand that plagiarism is a very serious offense. You tend to do a lot of good research, you tend to have a lot of materials, but when you write your research or when you attempt writing, what you mostly do is you only cut from a relevant source and you just copy it. Please do not do that, because from our end we would put that on a Turnitin software, and once in case the software says you have copied a lot of amount of your research, it is held to be plagiarism, which is a serious offense wherein you could also be debarred from the courses that you have been pursuing. So please be very, very conscious when you write a research. In case you have any more queries, we are always ready to help you. And please do not consider paper 5, which is a dissertation writing, to be like any other paper that you write and you just have to clear it for a go. More than all the other 4 papers that you write, I personally think that the dissertation requires a lot more hard work that you might have to put across, because it involves research, and research is an ever-growing field. You'll have to research for anything that you do. You want to study on a specific topic, you'll have to do research and then study. So this is basically going to develop your research skills in a lot of ways. My last point would be that don't write your dissertation simply for the sake of clearing your paper, which is just going to be there any which ways. You will definitely clear a paper. It's not going to be difficult for any of you with the expertise that you have in all your relevant areas. But please remember that when you write a research at the National Law School, when you attempt a dissertation at the National Law School, it should be of that quality where you should be able to publish it in any of the reputed journals. Please keep all of that in mind and then go ahead with writing a dissertation. We've just tried to help you out on some of the very common queries that we have been receiving. However, if there are some things more that you require us to brief you on, or if you want any more guidance, please write to any of us at the Distance Education Department. We are always happy to answer any queries that you come across. Thank you.